Welcome, everyone, to People on Dating. I'm your host, Will Morales. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this podcast is about the ups and downs of dating and how to navigate through it. Today, I have Katy Thompson. She's an online dating lifer dedicated to fixing this mess and helping people find their person. Entrepreneur, social networking app founder, stage 3 cancer survivor, marathon medalist, and single mom of twins. Katy, thank you so much for being on People on Dating. How are you?
Good. Wow, you introduced me better than I introduced me.
Yeah, I guess I had a lot of practice.
I guess so.
So Katy, tell us about your journey. First of all, I'm glad you're still here. You're a stage 3 cancer survivor.
Yeah.
What was your journey like to get here today? And especially, we're going to talk about a good topic: why I can't meet someone organically anymore. We're going to talk about your app and among other things. So, what was that journey like for Katy?
Yeah, and I throw it out there real quick and early that I am not a relationship coach. I'm not even really good at relationships, apparently. Still single after 13 years. But unfortunately, I've become somewhat of an expert on dating apps. Not really by choice, but it's almost like unfortunately, when you go see an attorney, you don't understand their lingo. People don't understand dating app lingo either. And I've seen so many people jump into it and just get their little heart broken because they just don't understand what's going on in there. So for me, one day, years and years and years after doing this, I'm like, why does this work? This should work. This should be easy. This should be like shopping out of a catalog, right? It should be like, I'm looking for this. You're looking for that. I've got, all this technology in the palm of my hand. This should be an easy matchup. Why isn't this working?
Right.
And so, I kind of looked around and said, looks like nobody's fixing it. I guess it's going to be me.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely get into that.
Right.
Katy, I have to say that for me personally, I don't get on dating apps anymore.
Good.
I'm on Instagram for a reason. It's more to promote the podcast than anything. I get DMs and then I ask a question, they ask a question. And one of the things I always like to ask is, hey, let's get on a Zoom call or let's talk on the phone. I'm old school. I'm an older gentleman. So I like talking. I like to hear someone's voice.
Right.
This day and age, it seems like
You're a rarity.
yeah, and people want to just do texting, and I hate texting. I want to text Katy. I'll be there in 10 minutes. That's it. Katy, can I meet you later?
I'm with you.
Yeah. So
Texting is meant to figure out how to meet.
exactly. So are you seeing that more and more? And and when you're going out, when you're talking to your friends, that everybody, nobody wants to meet in person, or at least
It's a
even Zoom.
societal, it's not even just a dating problem, it's a societal problem. In my real life, I work in healthcare and I employ a lot of people, and it's the same professionally as personally. No one wants to get on the phone. People are living in this almost fake, now we've got the metaverse. People are like dating in the metaverse and making up a human. Like, what? This has gone way off the rails. But back to our original topic, is that's why it's so hard to meet someone organically. It's just not done. It's not even socially acceptable anymore to just walk up to someone and have a conversation.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, you talk to coworkers and things like that. That's different because you're kind of forced to, because you're working together and
No one wants to do that. Nobody wants to come into the office.
Yeah, that's true too. That's
People
true
don't,
too.
I hire these 30-year-olds who don't want to pick up the phone. I'm like, you're going to have to pick up the phone and call doctors. Like that's how they operate.
So and it's, and talking about dating apps, like I said, I was on a few of them. I think I was on Match for a little while, and then I was on Our Time, which is over 50.
Right.
And even then, like a woman will reach out to me, I'll reach back, and then maybe there might be a third attempt, and then that's it. It was silence.
Right.
I would suggest, hey, let's talk on the phone. Oh no, it's too soon. Too
Right.
soon. I remember when I was growing up, that's all you had was now pretty much exchange phone numbers. Now it's you exchange Instagram accounts and all that. DM me
Right.
there. It's I freaking hate it. So talk about more about, like, what was the impetus for you to even start this, your own app, which we'll touch base on. Why try to fix up that mega problem of dating?
Well, what's the saying that, a necessity is the mother of all invention
Yeah, yeah,
for one.
exactly.
But, I was going down this app road for years, and one time after a particularly horrible like Tinder experience, I had some time to kill and was sitting at a bar. So I'm doing whatever. I look around and everyone's doing the same thing. We're all swiping away and no one will ever talk to each other, but you don't really know who's single, right? And it's not socially acceptable to walk up to them. So, and it's not that we can all, if you're single and looking, you can't like put on an orange shirt, like, but there
Yeah.
seems to be a way, cell phone, that you could identify who around you is single. And that's kind of what my app is doing. It's just an identification app, of who around you is open to having a conversation.
So describe a little bit more, because that's kind of interesting. Do the people say that they're single? Do they say they're in a new word that I started hearing about a year ago, entanglement? I'm like, what? So describe more about your app, because that's kind of interesting that you went down that path.
Yeah, I mean, right now the current situation, like is you swipe around, usually after drinking some wine. You
Yeah,
start
yeah,
swiping, and then you chat with 10 people, 20 maybe, and then you find someone that you might want to be interested in meeting with, and then you chat for a few days, try to figure out how to meet, and then you just can't figure it out because you have lives and kids and jobs, and I live in a city of 5 million people, and you're just like, screw it, and you start over. It's just a circle. So my thinking was, well, let's reverse engineer this. Go to where you're going, go on a cruise, go on a professional conference, go to the gym, and then see who's around you right now. You're already there. You're already
yeah.
clearly dressed. You're already, if you're out with your friends, your hair and makeup's all did, right? Let's see who's around you right now. And it doesn't mean you have to walk up and tap someone on the shoulder. It can be, hey, I saw you at, this wine event last week, and you can see that they're a normal, real human, unlike on dating apps where their pictures might be 10, 20 years old and they've got a wife. Like, you don't know, but
Oh, so with your app, and tell us the name of the app.
it's called Leap Meet.
Leap Meet.
Like
Okay.
take the leap and meet, kind of a play on words.
Okay. So I first of all, I like the name. It's better than 100 other apps we could probably mention. Leap Meet. I like that. So
I
and
wanted
you
it to
put
be Leap, but I had trademarking issues, so I had to add
yeah.
a meet on the end.
No, that works for me. So describe, let's say I want to get on it, right? I get on the app. What would be the criteria I have to put in? If you could describe that a little bit.
Simple, a few pictures, a little bit of a profile, the same as most of them.
Updated pictures, right?
If you want someone to recognize you, then I suggest that they're somewhat updated. Yeah.
I like what you said, though, that pictures from like 10, 20 years ago. And I'm like, come on, man, you don't look like that anymore.
I mean, I've been on there 13 years, so I get longevity, but I change my pictures. Like, if you had
Yeah.
the same pictures up the whole time, uh,
Yeah, yeah.
eh.
And you put a little profile about yourself, like about me
Yeah,
section.
yeah.
Okay.
You can put, just like the ones today, you can put it long, short, but I suggest you put something. If you're looking for your person, this whole like ask me profile, that's not working.
No,
Why
I
would they want
definitely
to
agree.
ask you? Put some information on there.
Yeah, I think also too, and we talked with Katy Thompson, um, which her bio, online dating lifer. I love that. That's
Not really by choice, just kind of happened.
yeah. It's funny because on Instagram for talking about that for a second, when I try to reach out to someone or they reach out to me and I try to make a conversation, obviously the next thing is, hey, let's get on a phone call or let's get on a Zoom call. And the thing is, Katy, I know I'm being, what's that, ghosted or gaslighting, because either their phone is not working. Oh, I prefer texting. They come up with excuse after excuse. So then I just pretty much just unfollow, or I just don't even pay attention anymore. How can we prevent that from leap me? That's the thing that scares me as a man trying to meet someone, about ghosting or being gaslighted. I know it's hard because you can't monitor every human, every person, because someone's going to
Right.
bullshit us anyway.
Really the whole purpose of the app is to get people off the couch and living. Get
Yeah.
yourself out there. And that's step one, right? It's just like if you start working out, step one is getting to the gym, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Step
Yeah.
one, get out there and then see what happens. Nothing's going to happen with you sitting on your couch swiping around. This
Yeah.
isn't working.
Yeah.
Some apps are really good about getting you addicted to apps, but that's really about it.
Right. Uh,
As far as being ghosted and whatnot, I think there's just less of a chance if you're in an environment and there's people around you. But of course, it's going to happen. People are people.
right. No, no. For me, I like, going to singles events or business networking events where you're going to meet people and actually talk to a human.
Right.
So describe again with Leap Meet. So in other words, if I want to go to let's say a business networking event, how is that something that I would have to set up on the app or something? If yeah, go ahead.
But I mean, right now, when it's in its infancy stages, I'm thinking it's going to have to be like a larger event. Think of a Vegas convention with 20,000 people.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
So cruises, like uh, I go to the Cardinals games, like a tailgating function. We're
Oh,
talking
okay.
bigger, larger events at first. Later on, years from now, it might work if you're at Joe's bar, and you can pull up like who's around me right now. So it's similar
Right.
to realtor.com. It just tells you kind of who's around you. Try buying a house without knowing what's for sale, right?
No, exactly.
That's kind of what
Exactly.
we're doing. We're all
Right.
circling around each other, not really knowing who's available.
No, no, that's fine. And it's a good concept because again, you're doing to a larger audience. So when you talk about the Cardinals, you talk about the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, guys,
It's
no,
just
no,
where I
that's
go.
cool.
This is where I go tailgating, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
I've been to here in New York. I've been to a few Giant games, and I love the tailgating aspect of it. And because there's people there, there's women there, so yeah, I definitely get that.
And you've already got something in common. So even if it's, even maybe Renaissance Fair is your jam. It's not my jam, but okay. What if Comic-Con is your thing? Great. You already have something in common. I had someone
Mm.
reach out to me and she's hard of hearing. She's like, how am I supposed to meet somebody? And I felt really horrible for her, but I thought, I'm sure that maybe you guys have conventions and conferences and you can find out who around you is in the same situation. So
Wow.
it's something for everyone.
Uh, that's a marketing uh genius right there
I
to
hope
even to
so.
I think so to cater to pretty much everybody that you can,
I mean, think about
it,
it. Anything
yeah.
from some grunge fest to Sundance Film Festival, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, definitely. I mean, now it's getting more, which hopefully you can add, and I'll definitely look at your app, Leap Me. Um, Here in New York, roller skating has become big again.
Oh yeah.
Very big.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's in 2020, here in New York when the pandemic was at its highest, in Central Park here in New York, we have a section that we roller skate in. Well, more and more people started coming out because they couldn't go out. And I'm talking about indoors places. They were, you
Right.
had to be outdoors. We
Right.
had the Parks Department enforced wearing masks. Sometimes they were a little lax on, and they let it go. But for the most
Right.
part, they wanted people to wear masks. But what we started seeing though, Katie, it was more and more people coming to roller skate with us. And we started meeting more and more women started showing up.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and so all of a sudden now, a couple of years later, now at certain parts of the city, they're dedicating an area to roller skate.
Okay.
So this past year and a half, it boomed. I mean, you saw people from all over, people that wouldn't normally see there were roller
Right.
skating. So I'm just saying, so that was a place to meet someone because again, you had something in common. Whether you were a new
Right.
skater or a veteran skater, you had a common goal there was to get roller skating and have fun.
And wouldn't you want to know which one of those are maybe single and available, and maybe a little
Exactly.
snapshot that someone has 10 kids, or maybe they're,
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I've
So
played in the same volleyball league for 13 years. I have no idea who's single. I have no idea who's available. I see the same people year after year after year.
and yeah, no, the same. It's funny that you say that because it's the same in roller skating. Where we would see some of these women, or they would see some of the guys, and we didn't know. You would have a conversation, but it never got
Yeah.
that personal. But with your app, Leap Me, hey, now you could say like, oh, you know what? Katy Thompson's single. Well, let me go up to her and say something. Let me say hi to her. Or Will
Right.
Morales.
At
Yeah,
least you know who your target audience is, right?
exactly. Oh, I like that. The target audience.
Yeah.
So where do you see the app going in the next year or so? I know it's in the infant stages. You're gonna get it out. I would it expand to other cities, or it's just basically local for now?
I mean, that's going to be my challenge is launching it because you can't just throw it out in the interwebs, right?
Yeah.
If 100 people aren't on it in one area, you get on it a couple times and you're like, there's nobody here for me. Delete. So, right, I live in Phoenix, so kind of going to start Phoenix, and then like Vegas conventions is kind of where I'm going to start. Also,
Wow.
I'm getting on. I don't know if you go to like a large gym, but they have what's called Gym TV, and you can
Yeah.
kind of promote like who's single at your gym kind of
Oh,
thing. Like
wow.
you want
Okay.
to know who's single. So I'm going to get those on. I'm picking like 15 target gyms to see if it's working. But yeah, getting you can have the brightest star in the sky, but if no one knows about it, it's useless.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it's going to be a bit of a challenge also because people just have dating app fatigue.
Right.
You hear there's a new dating app and you're like, oh geez, what now? You know?
Right. No, but see, but you did something a little bit more different. You try to make it more where people have things in common,
Right.
and
It's
you're,
opposite, but
yeah,
people hear dating app and they just hear great. Like what subset now? Like farmers, plus size women. Like there's a subset of dating app for everything you can think of, but it's not that. It's different.
right, right, right. Well, listen, I think the main thing is trying to meet people organically. That's the goal, is to get people back to
Right.
talking, to
Right.
meeting, to socializing, not
Right.
socializing on a damn dating app or on Instagram. Now, will you get this on social media, like on your Facebook group and things like that?
Yeah, and I've hired someone to help me with that because this is not my forte.
Right.
Um, but yeah, again, though, it's going to be a little bit, at Facebook, you can target down easier. I also envision, do you go on Facebook and you say like this event is coming? I
Yeah.
want to get on, say this event page is coming, and put the app on there and say, hey, sign up for this app now. So when you get there, you can see who's around you. We have, we have got Country Thunder, which is a 4-day huge country music festival. I mean, that
Yeah.
would be great to know who's single around you. Everyone's got RVs, right?
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
a
That's
shit
true.
show anyway. You're going to throw
Yeah.
this in the mix, and it'd be great to have that. So that's kind of my vision. It's gonna be difficult though.
No, but you definitely do, because you're onto something. You're onto something different. It's like the meetup groups. The meetup groups, like you said, they target specifically, mountain climbing or having a drink or whatever that may be.
Right.
Um, I think the dating is definitely something different, because again, uh, with these dating apps, it's you swipe left, you swipe right, but you don't
Right.
you don't get to know someone, again, their personality, whatever. Maybe their looks might not be, but hey, you know what, they have 7 other things that you could check off in your criteria box.
Right.
um
It also weeds out who's serious and who's not. They say at
mm,
least half the people on Tinder are married in a relationship, not just they're just looking. They're just wasting time and wasting your time.
no,
Um,
yeah, I mean, I listen, I see it on, I with Instagram. The thing that bothers me the most is that when I see some of the women where they send me or they follow me now, it's always in a bra or panty, or they're in a sexual position, and I don't take it serious, because and most of the time these people that send me the stuff, and I could always check their spelling. And one of the things, Katie, that I noticed, like when someone spells something and I say, hey, where are you from? And they go, I'm from Boston, USA. When I
right.
hear that,
Anytime you add a US or USA,
I'm like,
red flag.
really? Yeah, it's a red flag, because I'm like, okay, then you're not real. And that happened to me the other day on WhatsApp. Somebody said that I was in this zip code USA, and I'm like, oh boy, okay, this is probably someone from Nigeria or whatever. But
I have some on my dating debacles page. I think I've got like 3,000 Ukrainian bots on there now.
oh, geez.
I've been overwhelmed with Ukrainian bots.
So, and it's funny that you say that because I interviewed this one guy. He was telling me the best place to meet a marriage-minded woman, and we talked for about 30 minutes, and the last 2 minutes he described Ukraine. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, they're in a war. Of course, people want to get out of there, and especially the women. So, of course they want to be marriage-minded for like 6 months, and then they're going to divorce you. So I thought that was, I mean, it was funny, but at the same time, I'm like, really? I mean,
I listened to your podcast on, I think with Ash, about, guys going overseas and finding these women and
oh, I'm so against that,
yeah,
and I subscribe to part of the red pill, but that one that's bullshit.
yeah,
To
that's a
me,
cop out.
yeah, because there's women here that you can meet. That's bullshit that you
That's
have to go
taking the easy
overseas.
way out for sure.
Exactly, because it's just like anything. You go through an interview with your job or whatever it is, and then hopefully you could connect. So to me, that's one thing of the red pill I hate is that you passport bros, you got to go overseas. No, no, that's bull. That's really
Yeah.
bull. So
I hear you.
so anyway, sorry that I went off on a tangent there. So describe a little bit more about the app. I want, because this is something that we got to get out. Anything features that we should look for or anything. I don't want you to give away the secret, obviously, because you want people to sign up. But maybe one or two other nuggets that you could give us about the apps.
I pretty much gave you the whole premise is just geolocation.
Yeah.
The saying goes that if you're not kind of embarrassed of your MVP, your first launch, then you've waited too long. So I just want to get
Mm.
it out there and then improve upon it as we go. Step one is getting something out there. Like I said, I want to eventually get to the point where you go to sign up for your cruise, and in your welcome email is like, hey, sign up for Leap Meet and know who's going to be on your cruise that's single or looking, or something along those lines. I want to get an API embedded in it that kind of you can sign up for a basic background check.
Ah,
Because safety is going to be a little bit of a concern for some people.
yeah.
So who wouldn't pay a little bit of money to have a little green check mark by your name to say you're not a serial killer?
Yeah, no, I definitely get it. No, I definitely get it. I mean, first of all, Katie, I want to thank you so much for being on People on Dating. This is something that I might look forward to because at least I'll know who's who.
Yeah,
Because this is something different that I haven't heard before.
yeah,
And like I said, nobody meets anybody organically anymore. It's sad. Everybody just wants to, like you said, take the easy way out, or whether you
right,
passport bros or whatever. I'm one of those guys. I like to talk to women face to face. This way I know how their voice is. Or
right,
if I can't meet them face to face, at least let me talk to them
right.
because at
But
least I
have you also gone to a bar and bought a woman a couple of drinks and had a really good time, and then she's like, "Oh, my boyfriend's coming, gotta go," or like, or
Ooh,
I'm married. It's
that
nice
hasn't
to
happened in
know.
a while, but yeah, that has happened to me. And I'm like, shit, I just spent like $75 on two drinks.
In New York, yeah. Here in Arizona, you can get away with like 30, but it's still frustrating. It's still an hour of my time, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Anyway, Katie, before I let you go, just a couple more things.
Yeah.
Uh, what's the name of that app again? Tell us that one more time.
It's called Leap Meet, kind of like take the leap and meet, LEAPMEET. So you can go to leapmeet.com and get signed up to get notified when it actually launches. Hopefully it'll be, I'm thinking, April-ish. And you can also, if you're in Arizona, you can go to leapmeet.com/beta and sign up to be in the beta test group, which I'll just have some local events, and just make sure that the app is working properly. It's not like a singles mixer. A lot of my married friends are coming. I just need to see that it's not going to crash a system.
Right. Oh, good. Okay, so you're doing
200
a
people
better
get
taste.
on it.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, so you can sign up to be beta tester as well if you're living in the Phoenix area.
All right, sounds good. And if somebody want to get in contact with you, what's the best way?
You can email me at info@leapmeet.com. I also have Facebook at Katy Catherine Thompson, or Dating Debacles with an exclamation point. Is a bunch of videos of me and what not to do and online dating. Basically, is like learn from me. Don't
Right.
do that. I don't know what you're supposed to do, but don't do that.
Right. Well, it's all right. So you give advice of the do's and pretty much of the don'ts.
Yeah, it's like, hey, what do you think? Here's what I tried. That didn't work. Maybe skip that step.
Right. No, well, anyway, again, Katie, thank you so much for being on People Are Dating. I really, really appreciate you
Yeah, it was
taking time out of your
fun.
business. Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you so much.